If you're a UFO enthusiast, you are almost certainly aware that there is something unexplained at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. It's not a small object either. It's about 60 meters in length, and it lies a tantalizingly short distance beneath the surface of the waves, only about 90 meters or so. But although this object was discovered 15 years ago, nobody seems to have discovered anything further about it. And to this day, this remains the clearest image ever captured of the object, a sonar image of this strangely shaped formation, object, whatever you want to call it, at the bottom of the ocean. The reason this object continues to get attention, of course, is because we still haven't identified it. And although theories abound, and although the scientific community at large seems to believe that this is some sort of formation sculpted out by glacial activity, because after all, during the last ice age, glaciation had a big impact on the final disposition of the Baltic Sea and the ocean floor beneath it, but all of that being the case, this still is an unexplained mystery, and I am disinclined to dismiss unexplained mysteries until we have a lot more solid data. Unfortunately, I got the opportunity to interview the discoverer of this strange object, and in a few months, he's leading a new and far more ambitious expedition to identify the Baltic Sea anomaly once and for all. Good afternoon, folks. We have an opportunity today to learn something about the famous or infamous, depending on how you look at it, Baltic Sea anomaly. Sir, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to the viewers?
My name is Dennis Asberg. I live in Stockholm, or more out in the Stockholm archipelago, Sweden. I'm an explorer, owner of a diving company, and we search for shipwrecks and treasures. That's our main thing, to search for treasures around the world. That's what we're doing.
So, a little over 10 years ago, I guess more closer to 15 these days, you guys stumbled across something unusual at the bottom of the Baltic. Can you tell me about that event?
Wow, yeah, it's a long time ago, but I will never forget it. 2011, we were out on a mission, and the mission was to search for champagne and cognac on a special wreck we have out there somewhere in the Baltic Sea. And we have been out almost for 2 weeks, and it was very late one night. We were quite tired. We're sitting in front of the screen and look at the side scan sonar image on the bottom, and this thing popping up on the screen, and it's lots of shipwrecks in the Baltic Sea. It's brackish water, and the wrecks are still there. But this was not a shipwreck. This was something very odd, 60 meters in diameter, and something we have never ever seen it before. So we were a little confused there, I must say.
So what made you, I mean, obviously the shape of the object was odd, but what made it stand out to you? Because I mean, somebody in your line of work doubtlessly sees many types of geological formations on the seabed. What is it about this one that made it seem not so much like a geological formation to you?
Yes, the structure of it, it's quite big. It's 60 meters in diameter. It's 3,000 square meters object, and it's round. And it's not only that, also we have this track on the bottom. It looks like something have, what can I say, crashed down to the sea. My eyes, and many others' eyes. But my first reaction was that the whole crew, like a crashed UFO. But I take that very serious at that time. I said to everybody, be quiet about this, because it is something for sure. It must be something that is constructed, because we have never ever seen anything like that before. And it's not only that it's round, we have these angles, we have 90-degree angles on walls and so on. that what we saw on the side scan sonar image. And the day or 2 days after that, we were home and we began to look at the data again. And we talked to colleagues around the world and asked them, have you seen anything like that? And they just, wow, guys, what have you found? Where did you find it? And I tried to explain in the best way for them, but they did not know either what it can be. So I was very confused at that time. So the last thing I must do then to find an answer was to go up public with it. So I talked to the newspaper here in Stockholm, it's quite a big one, and they look at all the data and asked me what was the mission out there, and I explained for them we were searching for a shipwreck with champagne and cognac, and we found this, and of course they were very interested, so they published it the day after in the Swedish newspaper. And the day after that, it was crazy. Lots of people from the news channels contact me, radios, TV stations, so on, and ask me what I think it is, and I have no clue. I said to them, and but I want to find out. It's important. So
Sure.
that's what's happened.
So how long is this track behind the object that makes it look as if something skidded across the seafloor? How far does that go?
1,500, or more, perhaps less, between 1,000 and 1,500 meters. So
Okay,
it's
so a little over a kilometer.
yeah.
What is your reaction to people who say that it may have been some large alluvial glacial thing that was pushed along the seafloor by a glacier or something along those lines? What's your reaction to that?
I mean, I don't know. It can be that. But at the same time, we have been out there a couple of times. It's the first time we saw it on the side scan sonar. Of course, we react because we have never seen anything like that before. But the second time and the third time and so on, we have been out a couple of times. We have also seen lots of other things on this object because we have been down with divers. We have used ROV, and we have also seen phenomena. What can I call it in English? Sorry, my Swinglish. I'm doing my
That's all
best.
right.
Uh, but lots of things have happened out that. Not only it's an odd object. It's we have problems with the equipment, the radar system, we have failure with the ROV. We have problems with the navigation system. Lots of things have happened only when we have been on the spot. So it's not only it's odd and strange, it looks strange, and it looks like it's separated from the bottom. I mean, all these things together, it's strange for me
Yeah.
because I have never ever seen anything like that.
Sure.
So
Sounds very intriguing. And of course, you have a lot of experience with the seafloor, obviously. So you would know. What about now the ROVs that you sent down, divers, etc.? Do you have any footage of this object close up?
yeah, we have photos, but it's very difficult to get the usual picture down. We are using most of the time sonar, blue view sonar in this case.
Mhm.
So it's more data than you get a radar picture of, let me say it like that. Because visibility down there, it's like a half a meter. It's not more than that. It's very
Mhm.
difficult.
So even with lights and such on an ROV, because I mean, like what's the difference between the ROVs who explored the Titanic and the seafloor in the Baltic? How is that different in terms of the challenges that you face versus the Titanic explorers?
They are much deeper down. We're talking about more than 3,000 meters now.
Right.
Here we're talking about 90 meters, and it's another condition down there at 90 meters in the Baltic Sea. So usually it's very difficult in when we come to diving in the Baltic Sea because it's a rough sea also. But when you're coming down there, it's quite dead also. We don't have growing things down there. Not so much fish either.
Hmm.
But the visibility is very bad down there. It is. Have always been like that.
That sounds like a very serious challenge you're facing then in that regard. Now, also in terms of physically sampling the object itself, my understanding is that you've been able to sample material around it, but you haven't broken any or tried to break anything off of the object itself. Is that true? And if so, why have you not been able to sample the object?
One of our divers, Stefan Hågerborn, had the mission to take samples down at the first dive. He tried to take samples from it, not possible. It was too hard. But in this case, next time we're going to do it, hopefully, we're going to do a core drilling. We must drill into it. And I don't know if it's possible to do that, but we'll try. Of course, we're going to do that. But we have take samples, and they have done a study on that sample, and they found dead biologic material on it, on these stones. But it was stones laying on the object. It's not
Right,
from the object.
right.
So something have burned down there, have been upheated to very high temperature
Really?
also.
Okay. And
Yeah.
yeah, but there's no evidence of volcanic activity down there, that the geology's all wrong for volcanism. Is that right?
Yeah, but I talked to scientists here in Sweden, and they have said you cannot see any signs of any volcano down there in the Baltic Sea. We have found basalt, the stone basalt, and they say that it's coming from the melting period, uh, from the ice age, but it's only on that spot. It's only there.
Hmm.
That's the that's the strange thing. It's only there. We don't have it around it.
Now, Dr. Avi Loeb, when he has been dredging the bottom of the ocean off the coast of New Guinea, he came up
Mm.
with these little spherules that one tends to find in the aftermath of a meteor impact or something along those lines, or perhaps a spacecraft impact. When you were sampling the seafloor around it, did you find any spherules like that?
No, no, we have
Okay,
not. No.
right.
But well,
Okay.
but we have seen lots of other things down there. One thing, it's a triangle. It's a triangle with a hole in it. Uh, and that we found just a couple of years ago. And the reason for I found it in the was because I had time to dig in deeper into the data. And because we have lots of hours of film from the object, and I begin to really dig in deeper and see more, see if I can see details on the object. And then I saw a triangle with a hole in it,
Hmm.
and that's strange for me, of course.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
It sounds very intriguing. So, I mean, what is it going to require for us to solve this mystery then? I mean, your ROVs and divers have come up. So you want to do a core drilling into the object. What are you going to need in order to be able to core drill at that depth?
Yeah, we of course we're going to do that also, but first of all we must use scientists. I mean, scientists must come into this, serious scientists, and we are very close now to really go out again and have the right people with us with the knowledge and understanding how to go further in this project. Because I have not so much, experience of that, and. Then we must use the right tools, in this case, sub-button profiling then, so we can see if is it a part of a bigger thing on the bottom, or is it separated from the bottom? Or is it any space inside of this thing? So we can penetrate it and look like a radar that penetrator, marker, what call it, ground radar, into the object that they have used now for pyramids in Giza. That is two of the things, but first of all, we need the people with the understanding how to really go further in this project, and also with the knowledge and understanding.
It sounds like a tall order. I mean, have you? I assume you have a proposal. What's the budget for an expedition like this?
I cannot go into that, it's a little secret.
No
But
problem.
it will happen for sure this summer, hopefully. I
This
really hope for
summer,
that.
I mean, this has been a long wait for you then. I mean, what are your feelings in
Oh,
regards to
yeah,
this? I mean, a decade and a half or so. How do you feel about this?
yeah. When I found the 2011 and 2012, I tried to get scientists and people with money and to go into this project because I want to know what it is, and lots of people want to know. I know that. But when I did my presentation for investors in this case, they said to me, "Oh, very interesting, Dennis. This is very interesting. But, I have heard in the news, in this case, Fox News, but after that, other channels, it's a stone." And I said to them, "No, we can't. I mean, hey, listen to me." "Oh, no, I listen to you, Dennis. It's interesting, but, we don't want to get into this. It's a, UFO stamp on it."
Right.
And I said, "I don't know if it's a UFO. It's something odd for sure, and you have seen it yourself." And they say, "Yeah, yeah, you're right, Dennis, but we don't want to put our brand or name on this project." So they're a little scared. Now it's much easier, and it's because of whistleblowers, Beatrice, and it's easier to get people to really begin to understand this.
Right.
But it had not been easy because of the news. And I have said also to these investors, I mean, when we have been out on the spot, and we have always the Navy after us. Why? If we have found this big stone on the bottom, why is the Navy, not only
Yeah.
Swedish Navy, the NATO Navy around us? Why are they lurking around there?
Huh.
I mean, uh, so lots of things have happened out on the spot. So
Very strange.
yeah, it is for sure, and lots of other things have happened also that I cannot mention here. But it's interesting, and I have been waiting for this for a long, long, long time now. And I don't getting younger either, so I want to
Right.
be no, I want to be on that mission and find out what we have found out there.
So I certainly understand your passion. So I have one more question for you. Do you have any unbiased journalists going along
Um, no,
to document it? Well, if it's something you'd
yeah,
like to consider, I'm available.
yeah,
And I can
really,
promise you an unbiased coverage of it in case
yeah.
you're interested. I had to make that plug, but thank you so much for this opportunity today. Very, very intriguing indeed. And speaking as somebody who doesn't like it, just leaving unsolved mysteries unsolved just because of narrow-mindedness, I think that yeah, we definitely need to at least learn the truth about whatever this anomaly is at the bottom of the Baltic. And only why not find out? I mean, why remain ignorant of that? It makes no sense to me. So I wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you.
So I have to admit, prior to this interview, I didn't really put a great deal of credence in the so-called Baltic Sea anomaly. I thought what a lot of scientists thought, that this was just some strangely shaped rock, because there's quite a few of those at the bottom of the ocean and on other planets for that matter. But after this interview, and also after I got a chance to see these photographs, which I believe were also taken at the time of the original expedition, well, this might be something else. If we're talking about an ancient craft of some kind that crashed or some other formation that's tens of thousands of years old, sediment, silt, that sort of thing would doubtlessly cover it up, and it might very well appear like a rock. And even if it is the product of glacial activity, we want to know more about that. Thanks very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also keep in mind that I am leaving in just a few hours to go to the National Archives to check out some CIA footage from the 1950s that has never been digitized and, to my knowledge, has never been seen on the internet before. If it's something you'd like to see and also something you'd like to support these sorts of expeditions in the future, all the details are in the description. So until next time, stay angry about space.